Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mushoku Tensei, a jobless reincarnation. Tonight on episode 0 of season 2. So, what happened last time with our little journey with the show of Mushoku Tensei? That is a great question. Last video wasn't even us watching an episode. It was us rambling about the show for a dumb amount of time. Most specifically, the target of the ramble was Eris and Rudy having sex, right? Because that was something that I was like, okay. I was like, so, I'm not gonna lie, coming out of episode 2, having just watched it, your boy was like, it was like almost shock, where it's just like, I'm so immersed in this show, so to see this all unfold and to be feeling all these emotions, it's like, dog, I'm done, send it in, right? So that was kind of a chance to be like, okay, let's try to break this down a little bit, right? Though what it would turn out to be, and what I compared it to at one time, was like trying to untangle barbed wire, where it's like, oh wow, this is hard and stressful and painful, right? That's what it's like trying to decipher this show sometimes. I won't pretend, or at least the way I've been approaching it. So maybe we'll adjust that a bit. But yeah, so the last episode was, or the last video was us talking about it. We've like read the Eris POV and stuff. We're about to watch the episode 0, and we're doing the uncensored version. Apparently, there's a censored version as well. So I'm gonna I'll look at the censored version if I can remember, so that we can like cross compare. But we're doing the uncensored. So that should be fun. A little worrying that there's a censored and uncensored version for the show, where it's like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing that's getting censored up in here? Like, can we talk about that, Rudius, Gray Rat? But yeah, so. Boom, comments. I'm gonna spend 30 seconds in here maximum. You're scrolling at the video right here where it says like 30 minutes. No, okay. We'll try to make this short. I've read through all these, and I've tried to parse through all of them. So I'm not gonna talk about all of them, but the comments were not in vain. I did read them. I appreciate them. There's kind of one of the big questions I've been having so much trouble answering for myself, which is crazy, is why. This question right here, from Fallen Granny, so I'll read this real quick. I don't really understand this desire to push real-world morals and standards onto a fantasy setting. I get doing it to Rudy, though I personally disagree, as he is isekai, but applying that kind of thought onto a fully inward character like Eris is just too weird for me personally. So, let me try to first, real quick, say why I do it to Rudy. And I've talked about this a little bit. And you say, even though I personally agree, as he is isekai though, so it's like, okay, yeah. Not only is it the isekai part, because the isekai part is a big deal, of course, but it's just the subject matter of the show. That's one of the reasons that I'm pushing so much morals onto it, and standards onto it, right? Because Rudy is a character that embodies a lot of the messages and themes of the show, right? I think he's the main character, right? And so with a show about change, and a show about moving forward, moving backwards, pitfalls, climbing out, falling back in, and then magic also. With a show like that, if we're gonna start also throwing in a bunch of really messy situations, like Paul and Rudy's argument, and like Eris and Rudy having sex, right? Because that's pretty messy to try to tangle through. To throw that in on top of a message about change can get really murky for me, where it's like, okay, like we're already. It's like we're mixing a kind of crazy. It's a crazy thing to mix. And even more specifically, and why it's crazy. Well, why is it crazy to mix? Right? That's a good question. That's a good question. It's like we're trying to change, right? Which is kind of, I think, giving a roadmap, perhaps, to, or like it's giving some lessons to the audience, right? Because like we can learn from Rudy, and we can also learn what not to do from Rudy, right? And specifically because Rudy as a character, I think, is almost like a stand-in for certain members of the audience. I care a lot. I even care more. Like, that point goes double. And what I mean by that is he used to be a shut-in, right? And now he's here. Now he's making moves. He's been reincarnated. Say it with me, a jobless reincarnation. And so it's like the show is asking the question, what if we took a NEET? What if we took a shut-in? Which there are a lot in the real world. What if we took one of these people and we gave them a new chance, right? We gave them a reincarnation. We gave them a chance to make something of themselves. How could that unfold, right? And so for me to like think like, okay, how they treat Rudy is also, and what Rudy does in this world is a statement of what somebody like Rudy, someone from the real world, how that person would be treated or how that person would function That's the connection. Because that group of people, the neat shut-in crowd, I'm not very sympathetic for that crowd, but I do care about them, I've talked about that before, where it's like, I am not, hey, I need a thirsty horse, right? I will take you to water, but if you don't drink, then I'm gonna shoot you. You're dead, right? And whatever. Let me stop. Let me focus, right? So that to me makes me really, really care about what Rudy does in this world, and then also how the world responds to that, right? And because it's about change, right? So Rudy's actions are showing of how he's changed or how he's not changed, and then how is he punished for not changing, right? How is he punished for slipping backwards and falling and making a mistake or whatnot, right? Because if he's completely let off the hook, and if he himself doesn't even really perceive it as a mistake, then it's like, okay, is the show perceiving it as a mistake, or is that just a fine thing at this point, Because at that point, if the show perceives something that's really bad as something that's not a mistake, then it's like, okay, that's a weird message to be telling to a lot of people that this show's kind of that's a weird message to be telling to people, especially if it's being told to people that are like shut-ins or whatever, that Rudy is kind of a stand-in for, right? So the big question is that happening, right? To what degree is Rudy making mistakes, which is like normal and good. That's fine. That's part of the change. Like, I get that. I get that, guys. We're there on that. But if he makes a mistake, if he makes a massive slip up, then how does the show treat that? Does he, fall into a depression? Does he tell himself, like, I just effed up. That was so crazy. I need to not do that anymore. Does he get punished by the world around him? That kind of thing. And so, like, an example of that happening was Rudy is trying to power game, helping the toughs when he's with Rudyard and Eris. The bird guy gets bitten in half and spat against a wall, rest in peace. And Rudyard is like, Rudy, what was that? And Rudyard starts pressing him on that, right? Another example with Paul, right? The big Paul argument, which I loved those episodes. Those episodes were immaculate. Best episodes of the show for me. It was like, okay, Rudy. And the fun part about that is that was a really messy gray situation on both Rudy and Paul's side. And so... But Paul had some points that were, like, kind of real and kind of like, okay, that's kind of a good point of, like, hey, Rudy, what about your family? Like, you're just having a fun little adventure, So it's like the pushback onto Rudy for his choices from the world, I really, really like. I really, really like that. Because when the world pushes back on Rudy, then that's like saying that, hey, Rudy, whatever this action you did, like, let's talk about that and figure out if that's right or not, But if the world doesn't push back on it, then it's a different basket of hens, right? It's a different situation entirely. And so with Eris and Rudy having sex, this entire show, we are shown that Rudy has some, like, perversion, what I would say is issues. I feel like the show even presents it as, like, it's not great that he's watching the minors bathe. I don't think that's usually what we would consider a good thing, and I don't think the show's even trying to say that that's a fine thing. But then when the sex comes up, it's like the show has given so... It is like there are so many reasons. It's gotten so muddy and it's gotten so tangled that people can wiggle their waves through all these branches and wiggle their waves through this tangled mess and find reasons why, like, this was the right thing to do, And so it's like, okay, we're in a really muddy situation. How does the show treat you, Rudy? How do you treat yourself, Rudy? What comes out of this muddy situation? Like, how can we navigate that a bit, And it's crazy because we literally ended the season. It, like, just happened, right? So it's like, hopefully they'll keep dealing with this. I'm so ready. But in terms of, like, actually having sex, which Rudy himself says this could be a mistake or whatever. I'll pull up the quote in a second. But in terms of the actual having sex, that doesn't really, like, nobody thinks that, like, no, I don't think Rudy thinks that was wrong. Eris obviously is so fine with it. I mean, she's the one that wanted it. And she's just being chilling, going off on a solo arc, having a good time with Ghislaine, right? The pain and the suffering that Rudy's going through is from her leaving, and from the communication breakdown, because neither of them can communicate worth any salt, That's why the man's gone so hoed. And so it's like, okay, if we don't see if the action of having sex with Eris, is seen in, like, none of the negative light that I'm personally viewing it in, then it's like, okay, that kind of makes me, that kind of, like, turns that, like, clicks in my brain of, like, okay, worry. But then what takes it into the point of extreme with the real world morals is this is a show about change for a group of people that I find to be both vulnerable and also like can be very difficult to work with. And so to throw in these muddy issues, I'm like, bro, like, can I get some, like I want to see the world smack him if he's making what I view to be bad decisions. And the crazy thing, the craziest thing, and I'm going to even pull up, like, can I, like, bing, bing, right here, okay? I'm not even going to pull it up as a separate tab. He says, wouldn't this be taking advantage for it? Like, the thought crosses his mind that this is, for, like, the reason that I yap about, right? Of, like, Eris comes in, he's like, bro, this is crazy, I get it. Eris might be feeling hopeless. Hey, Rudy, shake my hand. That's literally, like, that's one of the main things that I was really, like, stressed about, of, like, bro, hey, Rudy, I think this is a bad thing, because Eris is coming in after this moment, like, her mental state, we cannot touch this with a 10-foot pole, nor a 5-inch pole, you know what I'm saying? Or, like, 8-inch, because he got the Paul gene? I don't know. That's just crazy that they said that. And he says, like, I want to do it, but I feel like I'd be taking advantage of her, you know? But then, like, after this, like, I want to see more of this, right? Because we get it with the doubts. We get it with the doubts going into the act, but then the act takes place, and then Eris walks away smiling with her big old grin in episode 23. I mean, I can even pull that up. That's honestly what really got me. I was like, dude, I was so fine with it. I was so, like, I wasn't even that, like, not fine with it. But the kill shot for my mental was this shot of Eris looking content after everything that just happened. That's crazy to me. Because it's like, dude, I, like, you're resilient, you're mentally resilient, go for it, whatever. But, like, I don't know, like, for her to just be, the crazy thing for me is, how can all these things happen to you, and you're still, like, happy and content with the world? Like, I can get moving forward. I can get that so much. Because some people just move forward, Giga Chad, grind set, do it. But to do it with a big ol', like, self-content grin, it was like, wait a second. Is the show saying that, like, everything that just happened here is, like, like, Eris is fine. She's not at all a victim of, it doesn't feel like she got taken advantage of at all with how the show's saying it, or whatever. And maybe I'm just coping. So that's what, I don't know. And I feel like I'm not even explaining myself anymore, like, well. Talking is so hard. Let me go to another comment. Let me just complain about how hard it is to communicate. Of, like here, right? Maybe this is the case of, I just think he struggles a bit to get across what he actually thinks in a 100% clear way. Maybe I do, bro. It's just hard. So, this is the new strat. Because I'm tired of talking about this scene. I've talked about this scene for hours on camera. I've talked about this scene for hours off camera. I've wrestled with this scene in my head for many more hours on top of both. I'm kind of sick of this scene, okay? I don't know if this is me agreeing to disagree, or if this is me just being, I don't know. Let me hit a couple more things before I throw in the towel, though. Let me hit a couple more things. Really quick, I promise. I want to get into season 2 too, okay? I do. Yeah, or let me talk about this. We're just bouncing around. I promise we're locking in. Of why might my thoughts be muddled? The thought I have on that is I try very intentionally and I try very hard to bring a lot of passion and energy into whatever I do. And mixing passion and energy with clarity is really hard to do, I think. I think that's maybe where the thing is coming in. Where I care so much. I try to care so much. I immerse myself so deep in this hoe that it gets hard to, like, unimmerse so that I can look at it more objectively and try to untangle it, because I feel like I'm in the wires, you know, getting shredded from all angles, right? Like, I'm feeling all these emotions that I feel like Eris could be feeling at the moment, and it's got me stressed out because I care about Eris and all these things. So I think that's maybe where, like, a problem of communication comes in, where it's like, that's the issue with it's like a passion thing. In which case, let me say the new character arc idea. The new character arc is we are hitting the emergency unimmerse button. I am unimmersing like 20, 30, 50%. Because you just can't keep doing this, guys. Like, I feel like we might be hitting a point of, like, the nuclear reactors going off because we were too immersed. And so to preserve my sanity, we are unimmersing, so that we can actually figure out this show a bit better. Yeah, so that's a play there. Let me go top to bottom and hit a couple of these really quick. Now that complete mess of a beginning rant was okay. But that's okay. That's okay. We are just taking this on the chin. Light work, no reaction. Move forward. Let's go. Okay. So, and I did all read all these immediately, so I'm just gonna skim. Bling, blam, 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 bloom. I don't think they jumped from nothing to sex. They basically lived together for almost 2 years. Little clarification. I mean, like, with romance slash sexually, they've done very little, right? In terms of, like, intimacy, because, like, you can have, like, platonic intimacy or whatever, right? In terms of intimacy, like, yeah, they definitely know each other really well. But, more, like, sexually, I mean, I've never seen Eris... I mean, the only sexual things they've done is, like, molestation and then, like, a very risky thing in, like, episode 9 or whatever, you know? But yeah. The scene of Ruijerd and Rudy, because I tore into that for a bit. The thing that bothers me with that scene the most, I think what I've gotten down to with that scene, let me even pull up this, is I feel like it contrasts very strangely the episode where Ruijerd gets mad at Rudy for the Tufts, right? Where it's like, hey Rudy, we are not working as a group right now, you know? You are kind of off doing your own thing, and that is a problem. We don't have our group dynamic, and that kind of that issue, right? And so when I see Ruijerd quivering in his boots, and then this kind of episode, right? When I see Ruijerd quivering in his boots and he says, Rudy, don't move, my instinct is, okay, we've literally had like a really powerful character moment where we're like, we're a group unit, we're going to listen to each other, we're going to communicate, and then instead of that actually like happening in the scene, what we get is Rudy ignoring a plea, not even a request, but a plea out of fear from one of his comrades, instead to do something that he hasn't talked to them about, which is start talking about man god and all this nonsense that he's like held from them, right? So in that way it felt counterintuitive to the entire arc we had of like, we are warriors. We are a bonded unit. We are going to click together and make moves, and we're not gonna, blah blah blah. So for Rudy to not listen to Ruijerd, it was like, dog, please, we've done this. On top of all the other stuff I mentioned, I do get like the kind of reasonings like here of like the curse and the stuff is something Rudy doesn't feel. But it just comes down to like not listening to communication, which has been a theme of the show where people don't communicate very well with each other. That's a huge part of the show, and it can get really like, guys, can we just talk? Can we just talk a bit more? But yeah. I really appreciate some of this as well. This kind of goes into like that message thing that I like was trying to yap about, but who even knows, of like, if we're gonna have a show that debates or that's like dealing with things that in the modern world would be deemed as immoral or troublesome or whatever, then like, how do we treat that, right? How does a show are they supposed to treat this certain ways, blah blah blah? Because it's not like a bad writing for Eris to not view sex as like some sort of ultimate like godly pleasure or whatever, or like godly sanctified thing, because why would she think that, and then for her to hit 15, I mean, that's what was like told to her by her parents. Like, I'm not surprised that she's done what she's done, but it's kind of the question of like, how does the show treat that this has happened, right? Does it treat this as something like a beautiful bonding moment, or like a bittersweet thing, or as like a tragedy? What's the attitude of the show towards this thing? Because that's where the judgment's coming in. And that's where my worry, I think, is specifically. So like, I like this example of like, if we're writing about slavery, it doesn't have to straight up, or like, this example, right? Where if we talk about something that's, let me just read the comment. Okay, let me stop talking and just read some of the comment. It's sort of like writing about slavery. Not every movie depicting slavery from back in the day in our times need to disestablish it outright, but it does need to show that the slaves are suffering, that the system isn't humane and has cracks in it. And then if it like cherry picks parts of this system, then it could be twisted into like an endorsement or something of that sort. And that is where the worry comes in, that we have these systems that I think are immoral and troublesome, and I think most people would agree have these traits to it. And then with the amount of with how gray everything is, and then it's like, okay, it almost feels like I'm not able to see if the show, like, the show, it feels like the show is, like, modifying it on purpose and making it complicated on purpose so that I, like, have to go along with it and, you know, or something like that. Because they give so many reasons for this to be happening, right? So, yeah. And it's not about, it's like a question of like, how a show approaches the subject matter, right? Where it's, yeah, like that. And then when it comes to a show, when it comes to subject matter of, like, oh, sexual things with children, that's something that people will have a lot of strong feelings about. So if you're coming across as cherry picking, then it's like, oh, well, that's condemnable, you know? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So I appreciate, this is kind of more what I'm trying to talk about, of, like, why do I yap? Why do I yap? It's about the message. But at this point, who cares about the message? I literally am so tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done. I'm done trying to pull a message. If the show is giving bad messages to people, okay. Enjoy your I don't care. Like, I'm just gonna enjoy the show for, like, at this point, it is what it is. Okay? And then, yeah, so another theme is, like, I feel like you are robbing Eris of her agency too much. There's another thing said about, like, you treat Eris as too much of a child. Okay, we're back. Had to just do a little cleaner reset. It's the passion of the show getting in the way of me actually thinking. This kind of point of, I would argue that Eris has a massive amount more of real life experience than most people in our world, so judging her like a literal child is insulting to her. Sure, she has massive mental issues and lacks emotional development, but she's definitely not a child. That kind of gets into, like, what is a child, right? The thing about, like, saying she has a massive amount of more of real life experience, like, her life up to this point has been noble, sheltered noble, right? Where she's, like, kicking tutors away, whatever. Like, she's like, it's funny. I mean, I wonder if you could even say that she's, like, a shut-in in a way, because she's kicking everyone out and, like, just chilling in her room. And then they just throw Ghislaine at her and say, fine, be a warrior, you know? But, so she spends a lot of time, I think, not developing very much in like, her noble arc, and then Rudy comes into her life and, like, kickstarts a lot of that development forward, and then she kind of, like, forms a good bond with Rudy, so that's, like, some, like, interpersonal development, blah, 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 and then starts getting better at doing that with other people, and then, boom, cataclysm happens, and it's her adventuring, scraping her way in life-death situations, crawling back to where we are now, right? Like, when it comes to saying real-life experience, like, murdering goblins doesn't give you experience in navigating relationships, right? Like, even if, like, she could kill me so many times, she could kill me, like, 5 million times in a minute, you know? And so in that way, she's not like a weak, innocent child, but when it comes to understanding, like, I mean, you even say it, right? Massive mental issues and lacks emotional development. In those ways, I feel like she's still very underdeveloped, akin to a child, right? Where even if she's out, I guess, but she's independent. Well, codependent, but, well, no, that's even a thing of, like, because I would say, like, being a child, one of the things we could label onto, like, the child label, we could put into the child label is codependence, right? Where if you're an independent Giga Chad, then that's an adult behavior. But up to this point, she's been, like, attached to Rudy the entire time. So it's not even like she's been adventuring on her own and has had to source her own food and do all these own things and, like, come to terms with being able to work as an individual agent. No. Rudy's handled all that. So, I mean, she's really good at killing things. But, like, it's crazy. I mean, doesn't she literally go kill the goblins? Let me just control goblins. She literally goes to kill the goblins. I wanted to prove I could do things by myself, so I went to slay the simplest of creatures, goblins. That was when I first caught a glimpse of my own talent. I fought those strange assassins and I overwhelmed them. Her motive to go do the goblin quest and then also to kill those assassins was largely, like, her trying to self-affirm her ability to be independent, right? So, killing people, I've just never thought of that as a way to healthily explore your independence. Usually it would be like, hey, let's, I don't know, drive a car around by myself, go get a burger. I don't know, but, like, how do you apply that to this world? Is that a fantasy world's equivalent is going and killing a bunch of goblins? Maybe, I don't know. It's just such a crazy world to jump into. So, and like when the world perceives her, because it's not even about what the world, like their world. She's not a child at all. She's an adult in their world, right? She hits that 15 age mark, and she's also like out doing warrior things. That's adult behavior. But then when we have Rudy come in, and we have my amorphous, like audience member that the message of the show is getting sent to, when I have the amorphous audience member who's like kind of like umbilically attached to Rudy, when these two figures walk up who bring a sense of the real world morals and standards into this fantasy setting, then it's like, as much as you can in some ways treat her as an adult in terms of like independence or killing power, though independence is kind of a weird point considering the codependence on Rudy, but as much as we can do that in terms of like emotional development and like the capacity to navigate complicated relationships, which can in our situation could have led to like her getting pregnant, which would have made things really crazy. In terms of navigating those things, I don't see her as being experienced like at all, you know? I see her as lacking emotional development, but Rudy does too. So it's like, okay, well, how is the show going to treat two people that lack emotional development doing something that I think they are not equipped to handle? And you kind of get into this here in a second. You know, that's the question. And it's like, well, them approaching the thing that I don't think they were equipped to handle, you know, having sex and increasing their relationship to that degree. The closest thing to a bite back I can find is Rudy gained expectations of their relationship that then crashed and burned when she left. Right? But other than that, is it just being said it's fine? I don't know. I'm just gonna stop. We need to stop. We need to get away from this subject. I'm trying to escape it, but I just keep getting pulled back in, man. Okay. And then yeah, I want to real quick. I have to say, IMO, there's no such thing as being prepared to have a long-term relationship, and you will never be ready to have children. It's virtually impossible for somebody to be ready for these things, regardless of how financially or emotionally ready you feel. They just sort of happen, and people blunder through them and make it up as they go. I mean, okay, we can agree though. You can be more or less emotionally ready, right? Like, even if it's impossible for somebody to hit a point of readiness that then they can feel assured about, you know, like a 12-year-old girl and a 25-year-old woman are very differently emotionally ready for like this kind of thing, and it depends on the 25-year-old woman or whatever. But it is like I wouldn't want to say, and I'm not even gonna say you're saying this, but I wouldn't want to say like just because it's impossible to feel ready doesn't mean or just because it's impossible to feel ready means that like readiness cannot be obtained. Or more readiness, then let's put it on a sliding scale. We don't have to have it as a toggleable ready or not ready. Let's just have it as a more ready and less ready. In which case, I would put these two as a less ready in a lot of less ready. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like, will you ever be ready to take care of a little baby human or, you know, go through all these things? I think this is kind of based of people will just make it up and blunder through them or whatever. But it's like, I would like to minimize our blunders. You know what I'm saying? I would like to have to make it up as they go as least as possible. Though I think there is an inevitability in just being like you can never fully be ready for that experience. But you can still ready yourself somewhat. That would be my take on that. Because yeah, like a lot of people are just making it up as they go on. And that's a crazy revelation in this world, right? Where it's like, wait a second, nobody has any idea what's going on. That's good. And then yeah, another thing I was talking about, where was it? I still the Oshinoko reference. I still the whole child point still doesn't sit the best with me. Of like, he has a brain of a child. I think this is funny. I really do actually appreciate this. Funny enough, I think you're kind of on your Paul arc here. I like that. A good use of the show to try to get a message across. Because I've been there. I understand what you mean by that so well. So I think that's funny. Expect too much of Rudius. Blah, 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 blah. It's funny. Like Paul expects a lot of Rudius in some ways. I expect things of Rudius in a completely different angle than like the people in the show expect of Rudius. Where it's not like a power or whatever. It's like a ability to grow emotionally and such, right? Yeah, but like the point of memories of a 40-year-old, but he's still a child. That just, and I've talked about this before, so I don't know if I want to reiterate because I think I'm at a little bit of an impasse with that specifically. Is he pops out of the womb, and the guy's like it's like, okay, oh no, take it all back. the thing that, like, is crazy to me is, like, if we're having a show about change, then throwing in the, like, why would we have this escape hatch constantly? I feel like that almost, like, gets in the way of the theme. Where it's like, if we're gonna have a thing about him growing or whatever, and as a stand-in for an audience, it's like, okay, this is a second chance kind of thing, where we can learn from our mistakes or whatever, then giving him an escape hatch of being a child and being allowed to make childish, dumb mistakes, it's like, okay, well then now we're removing the weight of the negative ramifications of his actions, right? And I want to, if we're gonna to celebrate his growth, we need to deal with his failure, right? I need to get down and dirty in the mud with his failure and be like, dang it, Rudy, come on, you know? I need to do that in order to, I feel like, really enjoy the success, right? And that's part of the immersion thing that I'm trying to unimmerse somewhat. Because it's like, the man's grown. The man literally, episode 23, pulled himself out of the situation because his family needed him, you know? In the way that his family reached out to him previously and in his last life and he wasn't there, he's like, no, now she is reaching out for me, not to help me, but because she needs help and I need to answer that call. And I'm saying she, Zenith, right? And that gets me juicing. That's what I'm talking about, Rudy. So I really like that. But in order for me to feel that really hit, I've had the hard line of Rudy, okay, and specifically with the sexual stuff, bro. If we like flipped it around where like the sexual issues like he dealt with pretty quickly or whatever, and then we were focusing a lot more on like the self-hatred and like the lonely and like the lack of drive and him regressing into like depression state, like it being the sexual elements with a minor in anime, where anime has already, like somebody said, what, Western pass, I think they said, where they're like, I just give him the Western pass. Yeah, where it's like, yeah, like the lollies in animes is already a thing that like I feel like is a little crazy to me. And that's, I guess, culture difference somewhat, but also just how it is. So, like, why are we making this the muddy thing? Can we just mudify some? Can we keep the mud away from this, man? I don't like, yeah, whatever. We're done with this. We're done with this. Continuing, because we're not done with this. Let me go back to the top. Death is normal in the world, such and such, yum yum yum. It's just it's her looking so content that bothers me. Eris, give me some problems, give me some tea, give me some change. It doesn't even have to be like, I'm depressed, I'm a loser, but just like, you know, like, don't smile all content. You can just smile that off. You're leaving Rudy and your family just died, and you can smile that off. I feel like we could see that's like it's such a good opportunity for crazy amounts of growth and change in negative ways, in positive ways, whatever. So for her to like seemingly like not have a lot of the change that I was expecting, it feels almost like a missed opportunity to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, these are some like blah, 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 blah. Growing up faster in the world and such. Maturity points. Yeah, I read some of the other content. Amiernia, blah blah blah. I appreciate. It was fun rewatching it for like the 10th time with you, gentlemen. Cheers. Hey, cheers to that. Hey, cheers to that. Ding. Cheers to that. That's the fun part. That's what we're here for. Messy topic. Agreed. Pink discovers a well-structured story revolves around the protagonist. That's crazy. This never happened before. If it revolves too much around the protagonist, then it becomes a harem, and then it's like, okay, well, this isn't realistic, and I don't like that. Maybe it's a subjective thing. And I know you're kind of trolling. But maybe it's a subjective thing. But it just like ate. You know what I'm saying? Okay, bet. And then this is also a thing of like cut content where apparently like the anime cut out a lot of the rest of the interconnectedness, to use my little thing, where the anime cut out a lot of the other interconnected spots, right? So it's at that point like the light novel was doing it, you know, and I like that. And so for it getting cut out, it's like, well, that's sad. And so I think we can agree that that's a loss, right? Because I just think that's sad. So basically Pog. But yeah, gotta say your most base take is ranking Norn as high as he did. Rudy's before Minitona is fraudulent though. I think somebody else said that too, of like, how dare you put Rudy's below Minitona. I just love Minitona. I struggled with that one. That was a hard one to do. I just love Minitona. I just love what she represents. I just relate. I just feel that, you know, that like sticks with me so well. The cook is in the kitchen. Don't doubt in humanity because of the comment section, doubt in humanity because of what they do. I already do that. I already doubt in humanity because what they do, humanity is a lot of bad things on their plate, or like on their list. Okay, humanity does a lot of bad things, so I already doubt humanity. This was just like fuel in the fire a little bit, but I hear you. I hear you. Trying to reverse the genders, I don't think changes it for me much. The only, because I was thinking about this, like ideally there would be a little there wouldn't be much of like a sexism at play, right? Ideally, I think that the only difference I could point to of if the or like the main difference of if the genders were flipped would be like who would have to carry a child in the case of being pregnant, right? And so in that way, if Eris was a boy and Rudy was a girl, I would be a little extra upset at Eris because she would be like forcing a child literally into a girl at that point. Like she would be the aggressor, like the dominant one asking for it. Where the biggest possible burden, pregnancy, would be with the other person. But other than that, like, because yeah, like like I kind of hear what you're saying. Eris is the larger, stronger one, taking the classically masculine position in this scene. But like, yeah, like, it's just they're both at fault. And then for with the whole Eris trauma plus Rudy having the extra experience, that's what shifts it so much for me, right? Yeah, because it's like the girl literally just had her parents die, so I don't really trust her decision making. I don't, to be that strong. That's like kind of the crazy. It's like a damned if I do, damned if I don't. Where if I say, oh, her parents dying, she's fine, takes those, easy clap. If I say that, then the way she approached Rudy looks worse on her character of like, oh, that was even like she loses an excuse. She loses the excuse of the mental trauma as a vessel for making what I see to be as a poor decision, especially because I mean she was really pressuring the kid, right? And Rudy's what in her eyes is 13, which is underage in her world, and I'm not sure exactly how much of a societal pressure there is or like a moral pressure that is on her, but she was definitely like pushing it on him a bit. So what was my point? Oh yeah, if we lose the excuse of the mental trauma, then it's like, okay, that makes Eris like more of a menace behavior. But then if we, so like that's what happened, that's what happens in that case. But then if we accept the mental trauma as like an excuse for her behavior, then for her to walk away so content in the day after looks crazy to me. But whatever. I like this of like they are human and it was a realistically depicted messy human situation. I like it as part of fiction. It makes sense in context of the world and story. It's dramatic and there's fallout and consequences that ripple into the rest of the story. If it happened in the real world to a nephew or niece of mine, I would be mad as hell. That's kind of how I feel. Like the immersion made me so bad. But the point of it's dramatic and there's fallout and consequences that ripple into the rest of the story. But like, what part of it is the fallout and consequences that ripple? Is it? Because it's so intertangled. The sex is so intertangled with the whole, like, her leaving and those things that don't have to do with sexual things, that then, like, it feels like they're riding each other into crazy locations. I really do that. Rudy says absolutely zero change in his character since episode 1. No, I don't know why you think that. He's changed a lot, and I hopefully expressed that a lot. Different starting lines. This was me saying the kind of philosophy of, like, F it, we ball moving forward. And then this we agree with, though. I like this a lot, of like, they do tunnel vision hard on Rudy's POV, which I think we can both agree on. Because I would prefer if we got even more from the other characters, so that it, was more of a, like, we got to see, it, like, felt less all about Rudy. I would like that more. So I'm glad that that's an adaptation thing. And then based Fallen Granny here of just, like, I appreciate the olive branch. Of just, like, it is fine for him to have a different opinion, struggles a bit to get across what he actually thinks in a clear way. I appreciate the olive branch, okay? Look at this. Civil discussion on the internet? It's fine for him to have a different opinion on Rudy or other topics. Wait, civil discussion on the internet? Cracked! Holy crap, we're pogging. Let the show portray morally great characters blunder through life, making a ton of mistakes and sometimes rarely learning something from them. Yeah, I just want to see the full ramifications of mistakes, right? Like, if we're gonna have a mistake, then send it, brother. Send it. And Rudy getting depressed in his room is from Eris leaving, even if it was heightened from his expectations of the sex. But, like, let's send it even more, okay? more depression, more change. Just throw some of it at Eris too. Throw some of it at Eris, please. Give me more, man. I'm ready. I'm here for it. Is there anything else? Bro, Mini Tony, really? What is wrong with you? Jokes aside. No, yeah, that's kind of funny. And then, like, denial. You're just in denial, I guess. Maybe I am in denial. That's okay. Yeah, basically, yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pull up this newest episode. Episode 000. This is, I'm gonna issue our new mission statement. I think we've been pretty clear in my expectations, because for the otakus out there, for the shut-ins out there, for the NEETs out there, I feel like I've established how I feel about that pretty fiercely. Or perhaps not fierce enough, but who knows? I've established it, I think, somewhat. So, keep banging my head against this wall. Either my head's gonna give or the wall's gonna give, and the wall looks fine to me. So, the new mission statement is, we're gonna ride the roller coaster, and if the roller coaster puts us in the pits of hell, then at least it's warm down there, right? I'm gonna unimmerse 50% for my own salvation, for my own sanity. We're gonna ride this roller coaster no matter where it goes, no matter if they make horrible miscommunication mistakes, and even if the show doesn't express it in the way I think it kind of should, who cares? Let's just have fun. That was a good time. That's the new mission statement. That's the new goal, okay? Sensitive subject matters. Who cares? I don't care anymore. Is this me going insane after watching the show? Then the show did it to me. Then it was the show's fault. Okay? But yeah. I don't know, let's just loosey-goosey take it as it comes. 5 a.m. drinking Dr. Pepper. That's the way we go. Here's a sip for you. Because we're all on the same page, okay? We're all humans trying to have a good time. That's the goal. Ooh, indirect kiss? Okay. Yeah, let's watch this little episode of season 2. The funny thing is I've done the intro like 7 times and like yapped for like, I know this has been 40 minutes. You have no idea. There was another hour that I already cut. That's already not in the picture. So I don't know what I said. I don't know what I didn't say. Who cares? We're going to ride this show. It's going to be a wonderful time. I'm going to say it till it's true. Rudy, give me some depression. Give me some action. Give me some mistakes. Give me some ramifications. I'm here for it. Eris, I hope you come back and you are interesting and pogged. We will see. Maybe you won't live up to my expectations of your character, but in that case, it is what it is. Episode 0 of Mushoku Tensei. I think this is an uncensored version. Hopefully it's the right one. Let's get this going. In a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang! It's muted? Okay, unmuted. Sorry, we're good now. Focus. Where are we? I gotta get my notes up as well. Is this Theresa? Who is this? Okay. Could be a flashback. Could be a lot of things. Okay. Okay! Okay! The silent title card drop, it goes hard. Sofietti. This is episode 0, right? Okay, just had to check. Is this, we're maybe getting a flashback to Sophie. Oh, she just got teleported. That was the mana cataclysm. She's getting dropped into this location right now. Sophie, magic. Someone catch her. Oh, that's crazy. This is the group that she falls into that we saw her at the end of season 1. Your Highness. Okay. Luke. Can you imagine, bro? Sophie's falling out of the sky right now and they're just eating cake. That would be so incredibly scary. I just can't even imagine that. And base lust ill become you. Alright, Derek and Luke. Wow, okay. Probably won't inherit, yeah. A lot would need to go wrong. Maybe like a mana cataclysm. We'll see. We'll see. Who is she gonna... Because she knows some magic. I don't know if she has stop herself from falling to death type magic. Especially if she's panicking. This poor girl. Oh, good! Wait, she actually tried something. Good move, Sylphie. She Dude. Whoa, warthog! Did it just get teleported here, maybe? Because, yeah, monsters could be teleported, too. Who's to say? Whoa, why is her hair changing color mid-sky? What? Why did her hair change color in the sky? Oh, she does. Okay, she Mario Goomba killed this monster. Good move, Sylphie. Good introduction into this other character's life. Let's go. Imagine her hair went white because she got that stressed. Imagine. Right place at the right time. Wait, which one is that? Is that Luke? Bro, why did your hair turn white? It like faded white too. That was so crazy. What does it have to do with the magic? Is there like some sort of crazy thing that can happen if you use your magic in a high stress situation? Like a reverb effect? Good morning, Sylphie. Okay, yeah, she's completely caught off guard by this too. I mean, I would be too. Why did you strip me by chance? Just questioning. Okay, Asura's Royal Palace. Wow, okay. Is this just a full Sylphie episode? That'd actually be so hype. Really? Whoa, the shades. Wow, why did the princess give her the shades? New face and name? What? Wait, what do I call you now, Sylphie? What do I call you? Man, I'm so... Why did she give her shades? What a specific thing to give her. I mean, she's fully... I guess that's why she was stripped naked, so that she could don her new suit as, like, part of her rebirth. I don't know. Fitz. Rip Derek. Fitz. Okay. Fitz. Got it. Plimon. Of your own father. Okay, Luke. Okay. Man, Sylphie really got spawned in to be this random princess's... Not even like a high-ranking princess, like a fourth princess. Well, second princess, but... fourth in line to the throne, right? Sylphie really just got airdropped onto that. That's crazy. What was up with the warthog, though? Just how to get into the palace, you know? These are the people that killed Saros. Okay. Politics. Grabel. This is a place full of snakes, man. Whose mother is the reason? Excuse me? Bro, why is he analyzing the cake eating? This is... what? This analogy is crazy. Your favorite berry is gonna get yoinked. What are you... what? Okay. To whom you seed that berry? Holy crap, this guy's nuts. Ariel. Dang. He really said, just, that's, what was his name? You talking about Sylphie? Wow, they think Sophie's a dude. Androgynous mode activate. Maybe that's what the shades are somewhat for. To like obscure features. You see the little twitch. Order of Mages could furnish higher-born candidates. Someone's talking about incantationless casting, I think. Yeah. Whoa, whoa. Come on, Fitz. Dang. Fitz does not... oh, no! You're so lucky that didn't splash onto someone's shirt. That would have been so bad. You can't even apologize because you're silent, Fitz. Clutch. Bro, all the people's expressions in the back are killing me right now. Like, look at them. They're just like, good job. There we go. Like, half of them weren't even smiling, man. They were just blank facing it. Good timing. She's smart. That was a very good time to do that. She's got a good level of, like, situational awareness, you know? That's crazy. Poor Sylphie. Literally got airdropped into the middle of the palace. Aww. I mean, a really powerful ally to just spawn onto, so that's a dub. We take those. You good, Sophie? Why did your hair turn white? Oh, your hair's green in your dream. That's crazy. The falling. Yeah. New fear of heights for like 90% of the population that were in the Mana Cataclysm, man. Or the surviving, I should say, right? Two elder brothers, though, right? I think two elder brothers and the one elder sister. So I've only really seen the one elder brother. Okay, what about Fitz? You're not going to say anything to Fitz? That's okay. Aww. Adorable. Yeah, what happened to your family is a great question. What for? Aw, is this a comfort? I'm gonna comfort you so you don't... Aw, sweet. Very cute. Take your reward. Whoa. Luke's saying, I'm jealous. Luke just said I'm jealous. I'd be too, Luke. I'd be too. No, I get it. I get it. Whoa, what? This is a stage play? Ooh. Ooh, she's grouping a lot of... Ooh, that character's crazy. Look at that character. Is that a slave? Is that a slave? She has an iron thing around her neck. Oh, this guy's just got an... you kill Saros and you do this to a slave girl? You're done. You're getting iced and smiced. I'm finished. Okay. I can't look at that guy. That's so gross. It's killing me. Poor slave girl. Yeah, a coup right after the Mana Cataclysm would be insane timing, because everything's already so unstable. Oh my goodness, I hate how he keeps touching this girl. Darius. I'm gonna go back through after and get all the names, because I want to focus. I get why it's episode 0 now. I do get why it's episode 0, because we're just going deep Sophie back, like, we're getting caught up on our Sophie lore. I'm here for it. I appreciate it. What's about to happen to this bed chamber, bro? Sophie age check? Sophie age check? It's like a little sister thing. Oh, no. What's our age gap? What's going on here? Yeah? No, don't pressure Sophie. Don't pressure Sophie. Poor Sophie. No. You know that I'm what? Yeah? She's lesbian for Sophie. Sophie, if you're not comfortable with this, then... Well, oh, man. The power, bro. No, wait. Huh? Okay, thank goodness. Thank you. She's just toying. She's just playing. She's just trolling. That's fine. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I, too, have dreams. Whoa. Nightmares? Of what? What happened? Oh. The boar. How did that boar get in there, man? Good message. True. Very true. Aww. Are they about to be interdependent on each other? Sylvie, how are you feeling about this? This is some... How are you feeling about this? Oh, she kind of feeling it. Okay, Sylvie. Hello? We're holding hands. Okay. Oh! That's so scary. Dude, she's an assassin. Okay, so this slave girl's a menace. Wow, Rand. Okay, I'm here for it. So you're like you're not just a toy for the guy. You're actually an entire thing. Sophie's just using that wind magic that Rudy has taught her. Holy. She's got such a dead look in her eyes. I kind of love this character. Oh, okay, good clutch. Are you okay? Did you get hit? She's cut. I don't know if she's bleeding, though. Big magic, big magic. Who? Oh, okay, good. Are you dead? Oh, you're so dead. Wow, saved your life twice. What happened? Whoa. I'm literally Luke. I'm literally Luke. I think she overexerted from the magic usage. Good move, Sylphie! Good move, Sylphie. Thank goodness you just opened your eyes to the assassin. That was... Okay. It's a night-eyed hawk. Terrifying. Are they still alive? Night-eyed hawk really just let themselves get felt up by the guy there. That's kind of crazy. A little bit of poison. Oh, you got scraped by it. Okay, heard. Ariel was really scaring me with the whole... Whatever, we'll get to that later. Okay. Abroad? Abroad to where? Where's abroad? We know Sophie's going, right? Whoa! True. Doesn't feel right anymore. This is a great... I love this noble. She's good. She's a good princess. Much better than the rest. Aww. I'm on Team Sylphie to the ends of the earth now. Sylphie, hey, Sylphie new MVP. Welcome aboard, Sylphie. Welcome aboard, Fitz. Welcome aboard, Fitz. Very sweet. Clover. Why do you want to be ruler, though? What's your motivation? What's your ambition? Ariel and a Moe Asura. Dang. And why are we trying to pick up Rudy at the end of Season 1? What might be going on there? Whoa. On that day, my nightmares stopped for good. Dang. Now we're in a blizzard? But why? Sylphie, where are we going? Sylphie, pan the camera the other way, bro. Guardian Fitz. Okay, I like that. That was good. I read it. The broken-hearted mage. Rudius. So real. Okay. Okay. I'm here for it. Dang. They really... It wouldn't be Mushoku Tensei without getting me really worried about this kind of stuff. But hey, we take this. Poor scared Sylphie. And then, dude, this girl got it for Sylphie. I want you to get to know me as well. Okay, okay. I mean, yeah. I'm glad that she was just teasing and trolling. I really appreciate that, princess. I really appreciate that. When she said, like, oh, what, you really think I would force myself on you, kind of thing? Given that 10 seconds prior, this other noble was feeling up, apparently an ultra-known assassin, yes, I'm sometimes worried about exactly that. People forcing themselves on each other. That is a worry in this show. But, good move, princess, I guess, for not doing that. We take those. Wow, yeah, this... So, first off, what, the boar? What's up with the boar? You know what I'm saying? This came out of nowhere. Was this part of the Mana Cataclysm? I mean, surely, right? This is Derek, right? Derek gets killed. He even says, please claim the crown. So, what exactly... Oh, he gets hit here. I didn't see that. He gets hit out of the way right, and then Sylphie drops in. So, yeah, I mean, I assumed he got killed, but I didn't see the kill shot. And then, oh, man, look at this things go from, like, feared monster into Looney Tunes in, like, 0.3 of a second. That's what Sylphie does to people. Sylphie Looney Tunifies people that fast. The question is, where did this beast come from? I mean, surely... So there's two options. Two options. Had to do with the Mana Cataclysm. In which case, really bad RNG. Really horrible RNG. Or this was, like, an assassination attempt in the same way that... the girl, which the eagle-eyed whatever, in the same way that girl was an assassination attempt on Princess here. This guy being put, maybe, I don't know, he was asleep on magic tranquilizers and then got woken up outside of her tea party or whatever. Because just to imagine that this guy somehow got through the palace walls unknown and then like jumped her, that's kind of I guess it could happen, but that I feel like it would be more reasonable to assume either this is Mana Cataclysm or an assassination attempt. I want to say Mana Cataclysm just for the point of Sylphie also just got Mana Cataclysmed here, so that would give that some more sense. Crazy that she literally just fell out of the sky in the perfect spot to one-shot this thing in the top of its dome, which also I think cushioned her fall, like, low-key. Good move, Sylphie, for saving yourself, though. For using your own magic. Love that. Love that. But yeah, I like that. That's basically very good. Well... Sylphie making a good move there. The whole boar showing up. We're just going to take that as it comes. Because, like, it goes back into that thing that I've talked about of, like, maybe the Mana Cataclysm, people getting teleported are getting teleported. Like, maybe they're getting teleported intentionally in specific locations. That was an idea with I'm literally looking at my notes. With Lilia. Lilia getting teleported outside of that one place. Rudy getting teleported and then Ruijerd meeting them, that kind of thing. I don't know exactly where Galen got teleported, but for Sylphie to get teleported right above the palace, like, that sounds like something, like, if I'm the guy that teleported everyone, and I was doing this for fun, then I'm putting the fun characters in the fun locations, Oh, Sylphie's kind of a fun character, let's drop her in the palace, as opposed to anywhere else, because, in terms of land area, it's not like the Courtyard Palace right here is very big, so that plays into that idea a little bit, or it's just random chance, in which case it is what it is. So Sylphie teleported. I'm gonna throw in that my list there. Lots of names with these guys. So Pillymon's fine. Pillymon's totally fine. That's homeboy Luke's father. The guy we hate. What was his name? I feel like it started with a D. Guys got a name that starts with a D for sure. But I'll catch all of those. I don't want to waste y'all's time with me looking for names. That assassin showing up. Let's just play that shot again. That had no business being as scary as it did. That had no business doing that. Like, what are you doing? How long have you been there just watching me asleep with my hand held with this girl? Whoa, you know what'd be crazy? Imagine this. She's been here. Imagine she's been here for like 5-10 minutes or something. Who even knows how long? And she's just like, she's feeling some sort of like jealousy for the connection. She sees them holding hands and she's like, I am soulless. The life has been beaten out of my eyes. And seeing this like expression of vulnerability and love, that like confuses her or like in some way intrigues her, in some way prevents her from like carrying out the mission in the moment. Instead, she's looking at this and being like, what is the deal with this? They're holding hands in bed. That's so sweet. And they're both girls roughly my own age. So what happened to me? Like, is it, what's happening? What's going through this girl's head? And then they lock eyes and it hovers and then she stabs. So she did try to make the kill shot. For sure. Boom. But there's that. She could have done that kill shot earlier. She was standing there, which tells me that, man, this knife is so like big and almost like cartoonishly thick. It's a big knife. But yeah, so that's interesting to me of like maybe what's going through her head. I like that idea of like this, like she's so like soulless. She's almost like an automaton. Like her eyes are like deadened, and so I'm very curious what deadened your eyes. Were you sculpted into this by that guy that the noble that you were sitting with? I could see him sculpting a little girl into an assassin, but also as a thing that he like touches. Like that seems pretty effed up, and that sounds like something an effed up person would do. And I don't think this guy's a good moral character, Also, he, was part of the kill of Saros for political moves? That's usually not... Yeah. Noble's a noble. Other than this princess. I like this princess character's good. She got a little spicy. Also, yeah, what is this? Ooh, friggin', is that what, Northgard style? Because she's throwing something? Like Loki? That's the poison hit, though. That's the poison hit right there, I think. Yeah. She's not dead yet. She's gonna come back. That assassin one day, and I'm very excited for that because she seemed I'm very intrigued by her character. Sylphie. So Sylphie, why do we want Rudy? Where are we going? So we're going on we're leaving. We're going on like an outer thing. Locations, I think we're still, or we're in the central continent still, right? Like our main continent top, or like the top left area. I assume we didn't go to like, what's its name? The continent that starts with M. I promise I can get there, guys. I don't know. Do I not have it written? Milicion? I don't think that's it. The Millis continent, right? I think that's it. The place that freaking is in Zenith connected to there somehow. I think someone said that maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm trolling. No. Look in. I don't think it's necessarily to like another continent like that. I mean, I guess it could be, but I would almost say no. And it's more like, let's get you out of the palace, but still within our political region, So, because to completely jump to another political region, I feel like would be, I don't know why they would make that move. I feel like it would probably be more like, okay, what's like another place we can put her? The place that comes to mind is Magic University, because I thought that was my original like thing of like Sylphie being at the Magic University feels kind of right, considering that that's like where she was going to go, and then that gives her training for her magic, blah 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 blah. But then the big question for me, because those were my two guesses, is either Magic University or some sort of political thing. And then the question is, like, we've seen her as a political agent, so why would she be at the Magic University? Well, maybe she's at the Magic University because it's in that top left area, right past those mountains. I mean, it's probably cold up there, right? So them going, them having this is them traveling to the Magic University across the mountain range, right? That seems logical. Because I don't know another mountain range they would travel across, or like another location they would get to across a mountain range, other than, because like the dragon peaks at the bottom left. That's just chilling. That's just speaking its truth, doing its thing. It's not like there's something across that unless we go across the continent. And I don't know why we would jump continents, because I think we're just trying to get out of the palace's attack range. So yeah, that'd be a guess there. Dang, Sylphie. Okay, Sylphie stalks through the roof. I'm gonna take a minute after I end recording to grab all these names. Ariel, Donna, whatever this guy's name. This older brother character is actually a bit of a menace, apparently. You know, he's trying to make some moves attached to this other guy. Though, I mean, how attached are they? Like, I feel like one of them could hoe the other one, just like that. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Derek. Shout out my boy Luke. I am Luke. Luke is me. Feeling good, feeling great. Grabel. Okay, Grabel's the brother. Oh, I'm writing Grabel's name down. Okay. Grabel. Kind of a sick name. But yeah, I like some of this cutthroat politics. I'm excited. I want to see more of this. This is kind of exciting. That's kind of what I'm expecting out of the Cliff Pope stuff. And so it looks like we're getting here with Sylphie a bit. So it's like, okay. Look, you throw in a character I'm invested in, aka Sylphie, and then you throw in a bunch of politics that they try to navigate around. That gets really scary really fast. My favorite part of these things, and this is the last thing I'll say, is the thing that's so cool about cutthroat politics to me, is, or like just politics things in general, is it's like if a character dies, it's not just, oh, that guy's dead now and like he's not like an issue physically, but there's now like a political ramification. It's like, okay, if Grabel gets stabbed to death, that doesn't just mean Grabel's been stabbed to death like this character's dead, but it means all the political ties that this guy's attached to have just had a huge wave shocked through them, which is like so, that like adds so much more stakes, you know? So to see, for example, Sylphie as whatever your name, like Tacky Tonk, Fitz, to see Sylphie as Fitz in this chamber, like struggling to keep up like to the political like requirements there, to like the proper courtsmanship or whatever, to see that, it's like, dude, there could be ramifications for their house, you know? This could reflect poorly on their household and then become some sort of a like mountains will be made of molehills continuously, and so like any molehill you see, it's like you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I just find that exciting in its own way. No, don't subtitle search the word scared. I know what scared means. But yeah. Also, this girl being into Sylphie, you know, cool. You know, and at least the lack of forcing on her, I appreciate. You're just doing some teasing. I can take that. And Sylphie, like, teasing about this is a little crazy, considering that you obviously have so much power in this relationship as Your Highness. But Your Highness, I'm too scared. Like, they're really getting me a little worried. But she's not a gray rat. You know what I'm saying? She backed off. Not a gray rat, okay? And before I just start using gray rat as a defamatory term, just like as a way to like insult people. Oh, you gray rat. No, the gray rats have some good in them too, okay? Don't get that black and white. We meddle with the gray. Gray's in the name. Gray rat. You know how it goes. That it? That's our start? We're good? We're ready to tackle this season? It can't hurt us anymore. The show can't hurt me anymore. I refuse to give it the power to hurt me. Okay? We are approaching it. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna enjoy the show. We're gonna reap its fruits. We're gonna snack upon its innards, and it will never hurt me again. Not in the way that it hurt me with the end of season 1. No. We will survive. I refuse to give media that much power. Copium. Okay, enough clowning around. That's all I got for this episode. Episode 2. No, episode 0. Oh no, the censored version. Let me look at the censored version. Frick me, man. Okay. I think the censor was somewhere around the 16 mark or something. Wait, somebody actually marked in the Discord. Let me pull that up. Okay, I'm gonna have to make sure to. Okay. Sorry. I'm just gonna. Well, I'll cut here. Okay, here, boom. Okay, here it is. Apparently 1507 is roughly what it is. Oh, so it's this guy rubbing on the girl. Is that what got censored? Let's see. So he's like still doing it. This is the censored version. Or maybe I got both the uncensored version twice. That'd be really funny. Let's see. Oh no, he's just staring at the camera for so long. Is that it? Wait, yeah. Okay, so I guess the scene that was censored was him touching Slave Girl here. Oh, yeah, I think because we're not actually seeing anything here. Is that it? Let's see. I think there's a little more. No, wait, I skipped too far. Darius. Yeah, okay. I think there were more scenes of him touching her. I think that's the difference. Okay, I mean, bit of a little bit of an odd thing to send. Like, that's a weird line to draw. I feel like the show has gone crazier places than this guy touching an underage girl, because it's like, well, that's kind of the show. So yeah, like these shots I guess were maybe cut out a bit, and they just used that same shot of his face over and over. Weird line to draw for sure. Darius. Oh, yeah, okay, and I got Darius's name down. Interesting. Okay, well, that's all I got for this episode. Episode 0, weird thing to say, of Season 2 of Mushoku Tensei, of The Jobless Reincarnation, of React Andy. Boom. On to the next. Episode 1. Should be exciting. Of course. If you like the video, subscribe. If you're new, blah, 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 blah. Comment below if you have anything to say, or join the Discord and talk to me or other Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation fans there. But until then, until the next episode, make sure you hit the socials and the About Me. You already know how it goes. Notification bell as well if you want a little ding, 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 ding. But until the next episode, that's all I got for tonight. Should be exciting. I'll be seeing you then. Peace.